Hi, Shae Russell here, editor of the Daily Reckoning Australia. And today I want to talk about gross domestic product data, or GDP. Now, the GDP, so essentially Australia's national income, came out on Wednesday at around about 11:30. And this is to give us an idea of how much the Australian economy grew for the December 2018 quarter. Now, I've been particularly looking forward to these results. I guess only a data nerd can say that. For the reason is that I believe they'll start to confirm my theory that consumers are behaving like they are in a recession, even though the technical data isn't backing that up. And I wasn't disappointed. Let's go through the GDP numbers first. Now, the economists were expecting it to come in at 0.3% for the December 2018 quarter. However, actual data came in at 0.2%. So not only was that below the market expectation, a 0.2% increase in GDP, it is extremely weak. Furthermore, the 0.2% increase means that the Australian economy only grew 2.3% for 2018. Now, that is well below the forecast of 2.8% from the Reserve Bank of Australia. And by the way, they did say they were expecting 2.8% as recently as last month. So they've well missed the mark on this one. Furthermore, the market acted in a bizarre way. I'm just going to put it out there. I think investors were slightly relieved that GDP didn't go backwards. That's the only rationale that I can put behind it. The XJO, for example, rallied 39 points in the hours after the GDP data was released. However, the Aussie dollar fell 0.8%. So what we've seen here is that the GDP data, the lack of growth, basically has hurt the Aussie dollar, but there's been a very short relief rally from investors that, the news wasn't worse. All right. Now, let's go through what the data actually means. Now, first of all, the good news, if you can say that. It turns out basically government spending is what kept the GDP data in the black, I guess you could say. Local, state and federal government spending all contributed significantly to GDP for the December 2018 quarter. So all these big infrastructure projects that are underway between the governments are essentially propping up our national income. However, the weak spot, once again, turns out to be private demand, or people like you and me. So basically, private businesses and consumers aren't spending money. So this confirms my theory that I believe people are acting like they're in a recession, even though the technical data doesn't back it up. Furthermore, and I just want to bring this to investors' attention because this is going to be a hot election issue, I believe, come the federal election when we, get to pick our next, the next Muppet in charge, I guess you could say. It turns out Australia narrowly escaped a technical recession, or at least our GDP going backwards for the December 2008 quarter, simply because of population growth. Now, this isn't because of new babies being born. This is because of the number of new migrants coming to our shores. Now, I know somewhere in the Canberra bubble, they're talking about cutting our migration program by about 30,000 people. It could be even higher depending on which party wants to win more votes, I guess you could say. But investors need to realise that Australia's strong population growth and our migration program essentially kept us out of a recession last year. So if we start reducing the number of new migrants that we bring to the country each year, we're likely to see that GDP figure go backwards even further. That's all from me today. I'll be back next week with more. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more video updates. Plus, right now, you can get a free guide to investing in gold. It's called The Best Way to Buy, Sell and Store Gold in Australia. You'll learn how to decide on what type of gold to buy, which Australian gold dealers to trust, whether you should buy bullion or ETFs, and the best and cheapest way to store your gold. All you need to do to get your copy is to click the link in the description below or go to thedailyreckoning.com.au/gold.